When I was driving my 996 down to Florida, I had realized that my headlights were kind of dull. And what had happened was I had done the headlight before. You know, these things get faded and they yellow. I mean, common plexi or this plastic lens that everybody's using on these cars, and they sell these kits, and 3M makes a pretty good product. Comes with sandpaper and a little attachment for a drill and all that other stuff, and it worked pretty good. Took the yellow out and polished it, but you know, honestly, I'm gonna have to tell you that I rushed it, and so I probably didn't take all the scratches out. And what ends up happening is when you go to buff it, some of the scratches are still there, and what it does is it diffracts all the light that's coming out of your headlights. So I didn't realize that until I went for, you know, one night I was driving, turned on the headlights, and low beams just didn't work. You know, they just seemed really dull. So I looked a little bit closer and I realized that the headlights were all, you know, still kind of a little scratched. And I said, you know, it really needs to be redone again. And so I said, okay, let's put on the list of stuff that I need to do with the Porsche. So then I started thinking on my drive, I was like, well, wait a minute, why am I doing these fitted to the car? You gotta tape off the car, you gotta put all the masking around it so you don't accidentally scratch the paint around the headlight. And I know with 996s, the headlight assembly comes out really easily. I mean, it's just a tool and the whole assembly comes out. And I said, well, I got a buffer that I could, you know, plastic wheel that I buff plastic taillights all the time. Why can't I take the headlight off of the car and buff it on the stand, on the buffing stand? So that's what I did. I mean, I took the headlight off. It's funny, it's how big these things are when you have it out of the car. It just looks like a regular headlight, but it's actually a pretty massive unit. And then of course the 996s had the HID unit, so it's got a ballast and the whole thing. But the whole unit comes out, and what I did already is I masked the little squirter system, so that's a chrome plastic piece. Didn't want to damage that. And then what I did was I went over the headlight again and took about I think it was 2000 grit, and just went over the whole plastic headlight with you know, a little bit of soapy water and sandpaper, and sanded the whole thing. That's why it kind of looks dull already. And what I'll do now is just do it on the buffer. It should be a lot faster than doing it on the car, and hopefully the headlight will be a lot clearer now that I'm repolishing and taking out all those little micro scratches. It should work a lot better. So here we go. Okay, so first thing I got to do is just load the buffer up with some of this plastic buffing compound. Got to be really careful. This is a pretty big piece, so the buffer usually doesn't catch it. You got to be really careful not to catch it in the buffer and send this piece go flying. All right, so as you can see, it's a lot clearer than it was. I mean, obviously it took all the scratches out of it, but it's still, as I look in the reflection, it's still slightly a little bit of hazing in there. I'm going to keep working on it a little bit and try to take these little scratches out, but it's got to be better than it was before. You know, as you can see, these headlights, you know, they have you know, it's a projector headlight, so it uses this clear piece. If it's got just even a little bit of scratches, it's going to disperse all the light. But I'm hoping this is a better job than what I did when it was on the car, and we'll see. I'm going to keep buffing. All right, now the next step is I gotta spray this with some kind of UV protectant. I'm gonna do some research, find out what the best one it is, and we'll go from there. So this is the windshield wiper squirter, or the headlight squirter assembly that the tabs broke off. So this little cap just popped right off of the headlight, and I found out that this whole assembly, squirter piece that slides in and out, and this little cover is about $85. So and what really broke off were these tiny little tabs that you can see here. I've already repaired them, but the tabs, you know, were really small little pieces of plastic that just didn't take much. I mean, admittedly, I probably pried on it the wrong way and just weakened it and broke it off when I tried to get it off. But there wasn't much there, and so what I did was I had an excuse to use my little plastic repair kit, which is set up to just you know, repair all sorts of plastic, and I created a dam to make it, you know, to kind of build up this plastic material and then re-drill the holes so they lined up, and was able to make a repair. It fits fine. It's supposed to slide right back into the headlight. Once I have the pieces painted or cleared and ready to go back on the car, I'll slide this back on and see how it fits. But it certainly was a savings in the sense of like this whole assembly was like $85, and then the cover itself, which is now sold, I've seen, is now $20. So you can make this. They now remake this little plastic chrome piece, but I don't know. I was able to fix it, you know, without having to order it, without having to wait for it to come back from the, you know, to ship it. I just find sometimes with this disposable society, everything's available, but, you know, if you could fix something, just fix it and not just throw it in the trash and spend all this energy shipping and moving. And, you know, if it's a $20 piece, it probably costs $5 to $10 of shipping. You know, then you end up spending $25, $30 on a piece, and just fix the thing. So I went ahead and fixed it, and it looks like the repair is going to hold. And I'm going to put this back on the car and continue using it. So that's one little project that this thing brought me into. Well, I got my painting station going here, and I used this headlight coating. This is McGuire's headlight coating. It looked like it was supposed to, well, I mean, I think it's going to be okay. It says UV protectant. It's supposed to be a you know, nice clear finish to protect it. The whole point of it is after I buffed it, it's just raw plastic. So I think what's going to happen is exposure to UV, it's going to only yellow again. So I think putting a clear coat finish on it, like most of the kits do, would help keep it kind of protected from yellowing again. So I went ahead and followed the directions and sprayed down a couple layers of clear on it, and it looks pretty good. So I got my little spray station up over here, and I did the other one over here. Got one little piece of dust on the headlight. There's nothing I could do, try to keep the dust off, but it is what it is. But taking them off the car made it a lot easier than trying to do it on the car. I could mask it a little bit easier and not worry about the overspray on the car. So it's looking a lot better. Should be able to get the headlights a lot clearer than than they were, and we'll see how it goes. Well, I put the headlights back in after I coated them. They look pretty good. I mean, a lot better than they were before. And now I definitely feel like they'll be much better as far as shedding, you know, just sending light out, because they're much more clear. Before, they were just, I think they were just a little too scratched up, or there were too many imperfections in the plastic, so they were just dispersing all the light. So now got the headlights back in, and ready for a season of driving.